हम लाते हैं टॉप न्यूज, आपके फेवरेट टॉक शोज और अनलिमिटेड एंटरटेनमेंट सिर्फ YouTube पर। अगर आपने अभी तक हमारा चैनल सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया तो अभी सब्सक्राइब करें और बेल आइकॉन को क्लिक करके हमारी लेटेस्ट वीडियोस के बारे में अपडेट जानें। सब्सक्राइब कीजिए और हम आपको लिए चलेंगे आपकी फेवरेट वीडियो की तरफ।
The Leipzig airport was well prepared to pay money to PIA for the aircraft, but as there was no more contact, nobody paid the money, of course not. And the Leipzig airport, and I can prove this, tried to contact PIA at least 5 times. They even talked to the embassy in Berlin. What should we do now with aircraft?
बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। जो कंट्रोवर्सी बनी रही जी, और वो कंट्रोवर्सी ये बनी रही कि शायद एक जहाज़ जो है PIA का वो चोरी हो गया या उसको बेच दिया गया। उन पर जो हकायक हैं वो मैंने आपके सामने रखे थे। आज मज़ीद कुछ हकायक मैं आपके सामने रखना चाहूँगा। एक्टिंग CEO थे PIA के, और जब ये एक्टिंग CEO थे और चीफ एग्जीक्यूटिव ऑफिसर थे, जब ये उस वक्त ये सारा वाकया पेश आया। खुद भी इन्होंने हीट फेस की और पहले इनको ECL पे रखा गया और फिर इनको वहाँ से जाना पड़ा, और इस वक्त ये जर्मनी में हैं। और जर्मनी में मैंने इनसे रब्ता किया और मैंने इनसे पूछा कि कुछ हकायक हमारे सामने भी रखें और हमें भी बताएं कि एक्चुअली हुआ क्या था। ये जहाज़ क्या वाकई ही चोरी हो गया था या वाकई ही बेच दिया गया था। और क्योंकि ये खुद एक्टिंग CEO रह चुके हैं, तो उस वक्त जो कहानी है पीछे क्या हुआ, ऑफिसेज में क्या हुआ, क्या SOP जो थे किए गए नहीं किए गए, सो ये सब चीज़ें मैं जानना चाहूँगा इनसे। सो इसीलिए मैंने इनसे रब्ता किया। इनका नाम है जी बर्ड हिल्डरब्रैंड। Bernd, it's a pleasure to have you on my show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on your show.
But what really happened about that aircraft, the aircraft which has become very controversial? Did the board of directors knew all about this thing, and did they knew that this aircraft is going over there? And for what purposes? What was it going over there? Who else was in the loop? Can you kindly explain that, please?
I hope you permit me to go a little bit deeper in this matter to explain a little bit more what really happened. In Pakistan, I hear that many people believe that the A310s are still worth millions of dollars. This is the first fake news. And those fake news come from PIA. In the aircraft, the Airbus 310 are very old aircraft built in the 70s, 80s, and they came to the end of their lifespan. End of 2016, according to the aviation policy of Pakistan, they had reached their structural life. Now, the idea was, what do we do with those aircraft? Because to be very honest, those aircraft were not fit to fly anymore, and they were a danger for the passengers of PIA.
Okay.
So the idea came up, and I discussed, of course, this idea with the board to sell those aircraft when they are still flying. The idea was to fly them out of Pakistan and to get money for the aircraft, and not to in Pakistan to work on a new graveyard. If you go to Karachi, to the airport, you see very old aircraft standing around, which are a very bad image for Pakistan and for PIA. So the idea was to get rid of those aircraft. And if you look in the industry, every airline has a policy to bring down the worth of the aircraft, the depreciation down to 0 after 15 years. Those aircraft were 23, 24, 25, 6 years old, and as I said, they were not fit for flying. There were 2 cycles left. So even my predecessors already tried to get rid of the 310s. But the tenders which we made, we did tenders in 16, nobody really wanted to have those aircraft because they're not in a very good state. And as I said, the 310 is not a new aircraft anymore, it's an old thing. And if people claim that those aircraft still were worth millions of dollars, it's just not the truth. In the tender, finally the airport of Leipzig offered money for an aircraft, and we went through all the PEPRA rules, and of course we opened, and so it was very clear that that this aircraft can be sold to Leipzig Airport. And I also want to stop one of the rumors that this is a museum. There is no museum in Leipzig. The aircraft was bought by airport because they wanted to use it for training purposes.
Okay.
And the aircraft was never sold. I really say it again. Every news I see, the aircraft is sold. It's not sold. And the final proof that the aircraft was never sold is that some days ago, the new PIA management made a new tender for this aircraft, which is now in Leipzig.
Okay. I have a few questions. If this aircraft was sent to Leipzig airport for training, what was the terms and conditions? How did it reach over there, and was it supposed to stay over there at the airport for good? And if it was supposed to go over there and stay there for good, did the PIA get some money or no?
PIA, of course, did not get the money because the deal was never done. Out of a sudden, in a board meeting in December 2016, the then chairman said, no, we don't want to do this anymore. But the deal was basically already done, and there was no reason to stop this, and the board was always when we sent the aircraft,
just a minute.
It was used to be part of a press conference which I had in Leipzig, because in those times we had the idea to change the flight which goes to New York, not flying via Manchester but via Leipzig. For very good reasons, because Leipzig is the second biggest cargo airport in Europe. And you know, cargo is very, very important also for a country like Pakistan. So this was the idea. The first intention was to have the aircraft there and use it as a show for the press conference. But after the decision of the chairman, nobody took care anymore in PIA about this aircraft, and this is the real problem. The airport was well prepared to pay money to PIA for the aircraft, but as there was no more contact, nobody paid the money, of course not. And the Leipzig airport, and I can prove this, tried to contact PIA at times. They even talked to the embassy in Berlin. What should we do now with aircraft?
Okay, so if I've heard it right, then it's all right. I want to repeat whatever you have said because there's like a German accent coming in. So what you are saying is that if I'm wrong, please correct me. You said that the aircraft went over there for the press conference, and because it's a hub, Leipzig Airport is a hub where all the cargo aircrafts are coming in, right? So it's a hub of all the cargo aircrafts. It's just like a train station or just like a bus station where every aircraft is coming in. So you guys sent that aircraft over there, and that aircraft was there for a press conference. And you wanted to start a new route probably. And that aircraft stayed over there, and then Leipzig Airport was ready to pay for it, pay for the aircraft, right? That's what you're saying.
Exactly.
Okay, the Leipzig airport was...
They paid it in the tender, and this was the only offer given in the tender was from Leipzig Airport.
Okay.
So of course they were the winner.
Okay.
And out of a sudden the chairman stopped it without any reason for it.
So the new
because
chairman...
we followed all the rules. We followed all.
Okay, just a minute. Just a sec. So you guys did the did the homework, you did do the paperwork, you went to the board of directors, and the aircraft went over there, conference was held, and Lispik Airport was ready to pay for the aircraft. But the new chairman came in and he wanted to stop this deal, right? When he wanted to stop this deal, uh, this all process of this aircraft, Airbus 310 to a limbo. The Lispik Airport guys, the authorities, did contact the Pakistan embassy in Germany. One, this is what you said, and they wrote at least 5 times to the PIA authorities asking them what to do with this aircraft, because initially they wanted to pay for this aircraft. But the PIA authorities never responded back, despite the fact the Lispik airport authorities did ask for at least 5 times that they wanted aircraft. Now there's a new decision coming in, so what should we do about it? So no response came from this authority, from the PIA authority, and that's why this issue cropped up. Am I right? This is what you're saying.
You're absolutely right.
Okay.
And if an aircraft stands on the tarmac, of course it costs money. Of course they want to charge parking charges. Very normal.
Okay. So they wanted no. What about it? Can you repeat this thing again about the parking?
You know, they wanted to take over the aircraft and buy the aircraft. This was the deal, yeah? But as nobody in PIA responded, they are not the customer. They don't have the aircraft,
okay.
And the aircraft is standing there waiting for a decision. And you know, if you park your car somewhere, you have to pay a fee for it. And this is the same in an airport.
Obviously.
You have to pay. And you also have to maintain the aircraft a little bit. You don't want that oil is coming out, you know. The aircraft of PIA are not in a good state. There's oil leakages and things like this. And in Germany, the laws are very strict about oil leakages.
Okay, I got your point. Okay, if you can recall and if you can remember, how many people back in PIA when this decision was made, how many people in PIA, when you were like the acting CEO, when this decision was taken that the Airbus 310 has to go to Leipzig airport for the press conference, the Leipzig airport authorities wanted to buy it, how many people back in Pakistan in the PIA authorities were interested in sending them over there, one. Secondly, if you can recall, who were those people, I'm talking about the PIA people, who were those people, if you can name them, or if you can at least tell me their direct rates were involved, or the board was involved in making this decision initially before the new chairman came in?
You know, initially it was a decision of the board to get rid of the aircraft. This was number one. Otherwise, you cannot initiate any. But this was a standing decision since years. Already Mr. Nasser Jafar, who was the chairman in 2015, already he and Mr. Shushat Asim, they already wanted to get rid of those aircraft. You know, this you have to know. And they didn't succeed because nobody wanted to have those aircraft. They tried. I also personally talked to Airbus, and they said, please forget those aircraft. We even wouldn't convert those aircraft into cargo aircraft because they're too old and their state is too bad. So if you want to go through all the procedures, of course you have to involve a lot of departments within PIA. This was, of course, procurement, it was marketing, traffic rights, internal planning. All those departments were involved, of course. You have to get the consent of civil aviation. Otherwise, you cannot just fly an aircraft out of the country. You know, to get the traffic rights, you have to involve also the civil aviation and the authorities of Pakistan. You just cannot fly it away. It's not possible.
Okay. So, so what you're saying is that everyone was on board, all the required personalities, the departments were in the PIA, were on board when this decision was taken that this aircraft should go, because this aircraft was was a wreck and was of no use.
Yeah.
And you wanted to make, you people, you as an acting CEO wanted to make some money out of it, and if you are getting a good deal out of it, you thought that this is a best option and we should get some money out of it instead of throwing it into the junkyard. So that's what you did.
It's better to get a little bit money out of it. My idea was it's better to get a little bit money out, some money out of it, instead of having a graveyard in Pakistan. This was the idea.
Okay, so that was the option which came along, and that's what you did. I will go into further details. I have to take a short break over here. ब्रेक पे जाने से पहले हम बात कर रहे थे बर्न हिल्डरब्रांड से, जो कि एक्टिंग सीईओ रह चुके हैं पीआईए के, जर्मनी से मेरे साथ मौजूद हैं, और हम कुछ इंकशाफात रख रहे हैं, और ये जो स्टोरीज़ चलती रहीं और ये जो बातें होती रहीं कि शायद पीआईए का 310 जहाज़ जो है लिप्सिक में जो खड़ा हुआ है उसको बेच दिया गया था या चोरी हो गया था, उसके बारे में तफसीलात बता रहे हैं कि सब लोग मौजूद थे, एवरीवन इन द पीआईए वाज ऑन बोर्ड, और ये जहाज़ 310 जो लिप्सिक गया था वो अपनी उम्र पूरी कर चुका था और इट वाज नॉट फिट फॉर फ्लाइंग, और इसको जंक यार्ड में जाना था। इसका पहले टेंडर किया गया, उस पर कोई अच्छी कीमत इनको वसूल नहीं हुई, और फिर इन्होंने लिप्सिक एयरपोर्ट वालों को चाहिए था ये जहाज़, और इनिशली लिप्सिक एयरपोर्ट वाले इस जहाज़ की कीमत भी देने के लिए तैयार थे, लेकिन उन्होंने कांटेक्ट किया पीआईए अथॉरिटीज़ को, और लेकिन पीआईए अथॉरिटीज़ ने कोई जवाब नहीं दिया, इसलिए इसको जनाब ये सारा पड़ गया। और इसीलिए उन्होंने ये जो सवाल उठता है ना बार बार कि जनाब वो वहाँ पे पार्किंग फ़ी मांग रहे हैं लिप्सिक एयरपोर्ट वाले, इसलिए मांग रहे थे कि जनाब वो इनिशली वो जहाज़ ख़रीदने के लिए तैयार थे, लेकिन उसको ये यहाँ पे पीआईए अथॉरिटीज़ वाले उसका जवाब नहीं देते। सो मच सो कि लिप्सिक एयरपोर्ट वालों ने एम्बेसी जो है जर्मनी में पाकिस्तान की उसको भी कांटेक्ट किया, लेकिन वहाँ से भी उन्हें कोई जवाब नहीं मिला। सो ये सारा मसला एक खटाई में पड़ गया, इसलिए वो पार्किंग फ़ी भी मांग रहे थे। यू सेड दैट द न्यू चेयरमैन केम इन एंड दिस डील व्हिच वाज ऑलरेडी टू स्ट्राइक डाउन दिस डील, and this is what happened, or this is how this all issue cropped up. My question is that when the new chairman came in and when he said that he doesn't want this deal to happen, to mature, was 0.1% chance that you could have like backed off this deal or no?
Basically, it was completely by surprise that this deal was not done. And he also didn't want that we fly via Leipzig to New York. And there was no clear reason, because all the calculations which we did was in favor to do it like this. And this was also shared with the board. And out of a sudden, it was a sudden decision anymore. And you know, I was only the acting CEO. He was if the board decides, I cannot do it anything. But the problem is that many people in PIA, even in the board, have no idea or don't know much about aviation. They make decisions which are not basically based on calculations and on the right information.
Okay, so you thought that to the best ability and capability of yours, that was the best decision, right? That's what you're saying.
Yes, sir.
Because
yes, sir. And you know, it was. We also tried to sell the other aircraft, and you know, now everybody believes that the fate of PIA depends on those 310s. Those 310s were not flight worthy anymore. It was a danger for the passengers. We had so many technical issues with this aircraft. I was praying every day that nothing happens with those aircraft.
Okay, so.
And at the end of the day, we even didn't have any pilots anymore to fly the aircraft. So the clear plan was to get rid of those aircraft. I don't understand all this hype which is going on in Pakistan, that those aircraft were so much money worth. It's just, in my opinion, ridiculous. And people jump on news which they don't check. You only have to click in the internet to find out the worth of a 310.
So what you're saying is that there's a lack of professionalism. That's what you're saying.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, if there's a lack of professionalism in PIA, which reflects every now and then, how can we fix it up? How can we fix it? Or can we fix it, or we cannot fix it?
You know, to be honest, in my opinion, it's very difficult to fix an airline which is in such a shape like PAA. There are some examples in the world, like Ethiopian, Indonesian airlines, that you can fix a bad airline to a good airline. But you need three things. You need a lot of money, you need some time, and you need a devoted management with knowledge to change it. And nothing of this, I think, you have in Pakistan right now.
Okay. So, do you think that there is some conspiracy going on? Somebody wants to shut down this aircraft, somebody wants to like airline, and intentionally all these things are happening to defame the PIA, the flag carrier?
You know, I'm not a politician and I don't know. My time, when I was there, you know, we started the Premier service.
Yeah.
And in the discussion with the then Prime Minister, the original idea was not to build the Premier service, but the original idea was to build another airline aside of PIA, and the name of this airline should have been Premier Airlines. This was the idea, and this is not working. To build up an airline beside PIA doesn't make sense.
So, just a minute. You said that you started a premium service. We know about that, and the idea was to start a new airline with a new airline, right? And you
Yes,
said
this
that
this was the idea in 2016, mid of 2016.
Yeah.
This was discussed in the board, and this was discussed very clearly with the Prime Minister, very often.
so you said that it's not workable.
It doesn't make sense, because to build up another airline, a part of PIA doesn't make sense. There are only two options. Either you build up a better service in PIA, or you shut down PIA and start a completely new airline. Those are the only two options. But a parallel use of two aircraft doesn't make sense.
So what I understand from whatever you're saying right now is that you said that it's not workable. The Prime Minister of Pakistan, the then Prime Minister of Pakistan, wanted, Mia Nawaz Sharif wanted another airline with the name of Premier Airline, and he wanted to start this airline, and he wanted to pump in money in the Premier Airline, not in PIA. So simultaneously he wanted to run two airlines, pumping in money in the Premier Airline, not in the PIA, and used as an acting CEO in front of the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Mia Nawaz Sharif, and you said that this is not workable.
Exactly.
Okay.
This was in a meeting with the Prime Minister. Clearly, this is not possible. And you know, he also wanted to have, you know, the good thing, I'm not a politician, but the Prime Minister, Mr. Sharif, he at least tried to change PIA. He tried to do it. But we had some discussion how to do it.
So, so he
and
wanted.
again, as I said, if you want to change an airline, you have to change it completely and not only do some little things.
Okay. So the former Prime Minister of Pakistan, Mia Nawaz Sharif, wanted to change the airline, but what are you saying? You said that he wanted to pump in money in the Premier Airline and not in the PIA, and now you're saying that he wanted to change the. How did he wanted to change the airline?
You know, he believed that first he said he make a new airline, completely new airline, but after a certain time he said it's not possible. And then he had the idea, together with the then chairman, Mr. Azam Cycle, to pump in money in PIA, but the money never came.
Okay, so he wanted to pump in money, and and Sehgal, the then chairman of PIA, Prime Minister, this is what I'm understanding from what you're saying. Sehgal asked the Prime Minister to pump in money, and Prime Minister was ready, Nawaz Sharif was ready to pump in money in PIA, but the money never came, right?
This happened very often. I was present at least twice in meetings between the chairman. Even the full board of PIA went to the finance minister and asked for money, but the hurdles were just too high to get money. They always came up and said, but we need more information and we need this and this and this. There was never the will to pay money to PIA. The Prime Minister wanted it, but I think some others didn't follow.
Okay, so the Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif wanted to pump in money in PIA, but and the summaries went to the Finance Ministry as well. Finance Ministry at that time and the Finance Minister at that time came up with wanted more information from the PIA, and in other words, they were coming up with excuses, and the money never came, right?
You know, we had meetings in Islamabad, and they came. We made a meeting. We explained this and this and this. I made a long business plan. You know, I said PIA can have 100 aircraft in 2025. Yeah, and there was a clear plan how. And they always came up with new questions, new hurdles, new reasons why they don't want to give us money. The only thing what they do is, and this is the biggest problem here for PIA, they guarantee for new credit lines, and this is killing PIA.
So the guarantees for the new credit line is killing PIA. This is what you're saying, right?
Of course.
Okay.
You know, at least 40% of the revenue which comes in per month for repaying debts. This doesn't make sense.
Okay. So whatever PIA is earning, PIA is paying 40% back in taxes, right?
Yeah, in interest.
Interest, sorry. So not in taxes, in interest, paying back the interest.
Interest.
The 40%, whatever
for
PIA
the loans.
For the loans, for the loans, whatever PIA has. So whatever PIA makes,
Yes.
whatever PIA earns, so 40% of it goes back into interest, right? So that's killing
Yes.
killing PIA, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Therefore, I made a very clear business plan. What do you have to do to change this? This was discussed with everybody, but nobody did it. Nobody had the guts to go this. You know, one of these ideas was to take out the parts of PIA which don't make sense. For instance, catering doesn't make sense to do yourself. Yeah, take out those parts, sell it, or do it with partners. Yeah, this was all laid down in a clear future.
Okay. So I'll ask you to elaborate this plan, whatever plan with, after a short break. जो रेस कर रहे हैं बर्न वो ये है कि जनाब मियां मोहम्मद नवाज शरीफ साहब इनिशियली एक पैरेलल एयरलाइन खड़ी करना चाहते थे, प्रीमियम एयरलाइन, और उसके अंदर पैसा इन्वेस्ट करना चाहते थे, लेकिन बाद में बर्न ने उन्हें समझाया कि ऐसे मुमकिन नहीं है कि दो पैरेलल एयरलाइन चलें, के अंदर पैसा डाले, और जो मियां नवाज शरीफ साहब को समझ आ गई बात, लेकिन मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ फाइनेंस ने पैसे PIA को नहीं दिए। मियां नवाज शरीफ साहब पैसा देना चाहते थे, डालना चाहते थे उसमें पैसा PIA में, ताकि PIA दोबारा खड़ी हो जाए, लेकिन मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ फाइनेंस ने फॉर सम रीज़न, वन रीज़न और दी अदर, उन्हें पैसा नहीं दिया, जिसकी वजह से PIA खड़ी नहीं हो सकी। But I've got very few time left, very little time left. One question, okay, one last question. My is that you were put on the ECL, on the exit control list, and you left the country. And why were you put on the ECL? That's I fail to understand that.
First ECL. You know, I have no idea why I was put on the ECL list. I think this was done because some people in PIA, and I'm sure the ranking people, even up to the big boys, they fed news to the press which were absolutely fake news, like about the 310 and fake news about 330 which we have taken from Sri Lanka. I think this was the reason they put me on ECL, and they said that I am a person which takes which I never did. I am the most honest person in the world, believe me. There was never a communication to me why I was put on ECL. I learned it from the press.
Okay. Okay. So
nobody talked to me.
Okay, in that particular time, when you heard this news from the press, you stayed in Pakistan
for nearly 3 months.
Okay, for nearly 3 months.
I think this started in March, and I left Pakistan in May. And
okay.
To be honest, the way this is not a way you should treat someone from another country who tries to make the best for the country. And I try to do the best for Pakistan and Pakistan International Airlines. Nobody explained me why I'm on ECL. I learned it from the news, and I heard it from the press. But there was nothing in written. Nobody talked to me. Not even this FIA ever talked to me. Nothing at all. And this is not something what should happen.
Okay. Did you contact your embassy in Pakistan?
Of course. And the embassy was very helpful, and the embassy helped me to cope with the situation.
Okay. So you went back, and there was nothing in writing, and you stayed in Pakistan. There was the news in some news, and from there you learned that you have been put on the exit control list. After that, you stayed in Pakistan for like 3 months, almost 3 months, and it was in a very bad taste, and you felt very bad about it, and this is not the way you should have been treated, and you contacted your embassy, your German embassy in Pakistan, and they tried to sort out your issues, and after staying over here in 3 months in Pakistan, you went back to Germany, and you came over here with a clear conscience. You wanted to help out PIA, you wanted to help out the people of PIA, and you wanted to help out this flag carrier, but you went back in a bad taste. That's what you're saying, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
I was hired by Mr. Nasser Jafar and by Mr. Shushat Asim, and they said very clearly, together with the Prime Minister, your job is to revive, to change PIA to a good airline, to an airline which is like all the other airlines in the area. Bring PIA up to a better state, and this is what we try to do. Our on-time performance was much better. Our cleanliness was much better. Our safety was much better. Our security was much better. This was my job.
So I got a clear picture of your certain things which we have discussed. So it
wonderful.
And whatever happened with you, it was in a bad taste. And on behalf of my country, Pakistan, if whatever you are saying is right, and with complete authority, if you are saying that is right, under the oath, if you are saying that is right, and if there was you were treated bad in my country, I feel bad about it, and I apologize on behalf of Pakistan if at all what you are saying is right. Thank you very much.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. जी हमारे साथ मौजूद है जी बर्ड हिल्डर ब्रांड जर्मनी से, जो कि एक्टिंग CEO रहे PIA के और